Hey everyone, how you doing today? I don't normally do really afternoon or even evening editions of these live streams because, quite frankly, I enjoy doing this in the morning. I consider the afternoon, evening time for Olivia and I to do whatever we want. But we've had a couple of rough days. I didn't feel like waiting till tomorrow to talk to you. Right, the market's down 1,910 points in the span of 48 hours. In the scale of things, it's about 6% if I do the math in my head pretty quick. It is, you know, can seem kind of scary, right? Two nearly 1,000 point drops. Um, but I thought we should have a discussion, right? I think we should try to talk rationally and really see what's going on. So, what do we know, right? What do we know? Well, essentially, what has happened in the last two trading days and really started over the weekend when Iran and Italy and South Korea kind of exploded in cases is the virus is not contained in China. That was always a hope. With everything that they had done, we had hoped that we wouldn't see a secondary spread to other countries. That hope over the weekend seemed to diminish, and frankly seems to be diminishing by the day. So we know that. Then what happened is investors need to reevaluate their positions. And I kept telling you for the last 2 or 3 weeks that, the market it just kept going higher and higher and higher, right? People were overly optimistic about this thing being a non-event and not impacting really the global economy, which you can go back and listen to my live streams. I do this every day, and I'm glad they're there and recorded so we can go back and see what I was saying 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Because it is a big deal. It started off being a big deal because the second largest economy was essentially shut down, right? Entire cities of 10, 12, 14 million people just weren't consuming. And that's significant. Then you layer on top of that all of the manufacturing that had been shut down, and you're already starting to see US businesses that rely on Chinese manufacturers saying, whoa, where's our inventory, right? So you have supply chain risk, not only demand, but supply chain risk. And then you start seeing big companies like Apple, who had originally had a $4 billion kind of high low for their quarter, come out 3 weeks later and say, oh my goodness, we missed it, right? These are all signs that this thing is a bigger deal than we had assumed. So all of that is being recast right now. Earnings are going to come down, growth's going to come down, cost of capital is going to come down, right? So those are all things we know. I don't think the bloodbath is over. I think there are significant segments of an economy, hotels, airlines, cruise, banks, manufacturers with a Chinese or even South Korea focus that are in for some pain in the short term. Now, what do we don't know? Really, what we don't know are a couple of, I'll call them hopeful, maybe wishful thinking. I've heard two just today as I got ready for this live stream. First and foremost, there are increasing scientists and actually mathematicians who have kind of take the exponential growth of this virus. And because it is a respiratory virus, a lot of them are thinking that it will be like other flus and it will eradicate itself as we head into the summer. That is at best hopeful, maybe wishful. It could absolutely be true. Nobody's seen it. I don't know, but it is mathematically possible that that could happen. The other thing you see is a lot of money is being spent on creating a vaccine to combat this thing. And I just read a report that there's already a vaccine going to, I think it said human trials in the next 6 weeks, which is like record speed. So there's hopes that the pharmaceutical companies and the like can create a vaccine for this. So again, those are all hopes at this point. But what we know at this point is we have to stocks are being reevaluated because growth's going to come down, profit's going to come down. Then the question is this short or long term, right? Is this a Q1, Q2 problem? Or does this thing carry on for the year? We don't know, right? So again, as I've told you many, many times, I do not have any money in the stock market. I'm obviously glad I do today, but I'm not here pounding my chest saying I told you so, because I didn't. But we need to realize what's happening. And when you talk about real estate, the cost of capital is coming down, the 30 years down, the 10 years down. We're seeing consumer behavior change. The question is going to be, does it impact jobs, right? Does this hiccup in the economy cause businesses to have to lay people off? I think we're weeks, if not months, away from having that kind of outcome. I don't see that happening, but it could if this goes on long enough. And if that happens, then what happens next? Right, there could be all kinds of ripple effects. So again, what do we know? I think stocks are in for a repricing this week. The pain is probably not over. Could we have a dead cat bounce? Sure. I mean, 1,910 points. Yeah, just sure. But I don't think it's repriced in. I think we were overly optimistic that this was nothing. I think it's been proven after this weekend that it is something. And now we need to get ready, right? If we see cases in the U.S., which I now read as of today is 56, right? If that balloons to 560, that might be interesting. So in the end, that's what I have for you today. Relax, take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay long term. Have a great day.